Now if you buy cheap Chinese diesel heater, the chances are it's going to come supplied with one of these fuel tanks. These are great, they're fit for purpose, all except one fundamental flaw, and that is that the diesel is actually drawn from the bottom of the tank. So if you have a fuel leak in your fuel line, this tank will empty, filling your entire van up with diesel. That's why I highly recommend fitting a standpipe to the top of the tank if you can. Or even better, upgrade this fuel tank altogether by fitting one of these fuel tanks that I have in my van. So as you can see, this fuel tank is far superior to this one. It has a much bigger filling neck. It's also a bigger tank as well, so you can actually get more diesel in it. And also, because of the shape of it, it's really easy to install into any van. And there you go, there's the standpipe at the back. If there is a fuel leak, this tank isn't going to empty and flood my entire van full of diesel. But of course, there is one benefit that comes with using either of these tanks, and that is that you can actually use red diesel or kerosene, which is a lot cheaper than using road fuel. But if you're tight for space, then there's only one other alternative, and that is to draw diesel from your main fuel tank and not fit one of these at all. And the upside of that is that you gain extra space in your van. So if you've got a small camper van, then it really is a good idea to take diesel from your main fuel tank and eliminating these tanks altogether. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today with Rebecca's van. We're going to drop her fuel tank, attempt to fit a standpipe in the top, thus eliminating any need for any external or extra diesel fuel tanks in her van and saving her all this space. But before we do that, if you're new here, my name's Mel and I live full-time in this Mercedes Sprinter camper van, and I make videos all about my adventures in this van. So if that's something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. I do hope you enjoy this video enough to give it a thumbs up. Right, so with the introductions out of the way, I'm going to change, put some overalls on and go and see Rebecca's van and see what we're going to get up to today. I'll see you there. So as you can see, Rebecca's van is considerably smaller than mine, so we don't want to fit a tank like I've got in my van. We want to suck diesel directly from her main fuel tank. Now there's two ways we can do this. We can use a standard standpipe like this, which is what we tried, and if you haven't seen Rebecca's video of me actually failing at trying to fit this, I highly suggest you check that video out. Purely for its comical value, I think. So I actually got stuck under her van, underneath the fuel tank. But anyway, we learned something from that video. We learned that the best way to suck diesel from a full transit custom fuel tank is to use one of these. All thanks to Alex Frood, Mispronounced Adventures, which is a video that Rebecca discovered on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to drop Rebecca's fuel tank once again and fit one of these little standpipes. I'm going to try and film as much of this process as I possibly can, so hopefully you find this video slightly informative and mildly entertaining. Right, let's get the jack out, get the axle stands underneath Rebecca's van, get her fuel tank out and install this little tiny standpipe. So now we've got the vehicle jacked up and secured on axle stands, front and rear. Here's the jack I used. This is a Mercedes jack. Now the fuel tank is held up in place by two straps. This strap here, and there's another strap there. And these straps are held up to the chassis of the van via these nuts. So what we're going to do, we're going to undo this nut and remove it completely. Again, undo this nut and remove it completely. The two at the back, we're just going to undo them and wind them out about, I don't know, ½ an inch, and that'll give us enough room to just push these straps off to one side and swing them right round to the other side, allowing the tank to drop. But before we drop the tank, we need to undo one other bolt, and that bolt is this one here, which allows the filler pipe to release from the filler neck, and this filler neck will simply drop down out of the hole. There's no cap to undo, it will simply just slide down out of its socket, and we need to remove this nut completely. Oh, but one other thing, you will need to release the fuel lines, which are these two clips here, and just at the back here there's a cable up here which you probably won't be able to see, but you can just about feel it with your hand, and it's the main cable, and I'll show you what that looks like once we get the tank out, so you can get a better look at that. Now these fuel pipes, to undo these fuel pipes, they've got a safety mechanism. So you go, I do hope you could see that. There's a blue clip which you push up, the grey clip you push in, and the same goes for this one here, except it's on the side and it's marked white. This is so that when you put it back together you don't get run away. Right, so remove these pipes, undo that electrical clip, and then move these straps out of the way. Really simple, right? So before I undo any bolts, I'm going to release this electrical cable. Here it is here. There you go, electrical plug, that comes out, and it is literally a case of pushing down on the top and then unplugging it. The actual clip is attached to the tank itself. Once you've undone that plug, that's all the electrics you need to undo. So now let's undo our fuel line. Let's put the camera around the other way so you can actually see it, because the sun's glaring. So that fuel line, simply unpull, and there will be quite a bit of fuel come out, but it's nothing to worry about, it soon stops. Let's get the bolt underneath, we don't want fuel everywhere. That's it. There you go. A little bit of fuel. Don't worry, it will stop eventually. I think I should have undone that other one first. Anyway, pull that white clip. Hopefully you can see this. You don't need any tools to do this. Pull that white clip free, like that. You hear that click. So there's that white clip. Now the brown part you push behind it. I'm not going to be able to film this, I don't think, without getting diesel everywhere. You push that, and then that should come out. Now I'm going to put the camera down, can't do this one-handed. Hopefully, just push it in to release the tension, and then there you go. So what I did, I actually pushed this up to release the tension before pushing that brown or grey clip in. There you go, it's a good shot of the mechanism. You can see it there. You've got the safety clip on the outside which you pull out, and then this grey piece you push in. You can see how it works there. It's like a double clip. They both go together and stop it coming undone by mistake. And that's your two fuel pipes undone. This will eventually stop running. You can see quite a bit of fuel does come out, hence the bowl. So I've got this washing up bowl, my washing up bowl out of my van, which I also use when I wash. So whilst that's draining, I'll go and find some sockets, try and do the nuts we need. And I do believe it's just a 13mm socket, that's all it is. And I think that's a 10mm nut up here that we need to undo for the filler pipe. So we're going to undo this one first so there's no strain put on this bolt when we drop the tank. Try and undo these components in this order if you can, if you do this job. It's very important. Right, that one out of the way, and we'll put our nut somewhere safe. Don't forget to put this somewhere safe because you're going to need that to put it back. And put that by our axle stand. We change sockets. Put our 10mm socket by our 10mm bolt so we know where it is. Now we're going to remove this strap. We're not going to remove the strap completely. We're going to slacken these ones off like that. The back one we're just going to slacken, literally just slacken it off, and undo it about halfway. Should have got a longer extension really. Nice and loose. Couple of turns. The same with the rear one as well. Just undo that. Just get it nice and loose. Don't remove it completely. That's all we need to do. Now for the hard bit. Well, not the hard bit, the heavy bit. Let's move our bowl out of the way till we finish with that. Now we're going to undo this strap, which is the front one, and the rear one. And to do that, before I undo these straps, I'm going to reposition myself so that the tank is actually above me, and then that way I can use my knees to lower the tank down onto my belly, slide out from underneath the van with the tank resting on my belly. You need good core muscles to do this, so don't attempt this if you're quite frail. Don't attempt to do this. Only do it if you're superhuman like me. Right, so I'm going to swing round. Sorry?
So is that so?
Yep. Am I still in shot? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. So we'll undo this. Now don't try this at home, kids, unless you've got adult supervision. I've got Rebecca watching over me.
Yeah, I'm the adult.
She's the adult among us. So this is loose. This one's loose. Hopefully Rebecca hasn't filled the tank up with fuel this time. Not really trying to put you on a guilt trip. So there you go, I'm going to wedge the tank with my knees now. I think I need yep, that one. There you go, see how easy that is. Oh, my neck. Oh, it's longer than I remember. That's what she said.
Well, if she says it, surely it's a compliment.
Right. So that's done. Now this, as I say, this fuel strap, we're just going to swing that round there out of the way, put our bolt there within arm's reach, because we'll need that later on when we go to put it back. Again, this one. It's not much lighter than it was last time, love.
I can't have that, love. There's nothing left on it.
Again, that bolt we're going to put there, and then the strap, simply swing it away, and our tank will come down with the fuel filler pipe as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There it comes. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, that's the breather pipe. Forgot about that one. That's always one, isn't there? That simply unclips from there. That's the breather pipe. And then that is it. Now, we have our tank as planned.
Is it lighter?
No. I'm just going to wiggle out from underneath it. I think that's the easiest way to do it. There we go. Oh, shit.
It's definitely a lot lighter.
That's the tank removed from the full transit. Custom, as you can see, really simple, easy job to do. But if you're going to do this job on your own, don't be crazy, get someone to help you. Because putting it back isn't as easy.
I'll help you put it back.
Just get Rebecca some overalls, I think. Right, oh, we'll be alright, we'll struggle. We'll get it back in there, it's not a problem. Oh, shut that, that's not breaking. Right, there we go. Right, now the tank's out, I can show you what we're going to do. So here's the fuel sender unit, and on top of here you've got this extra spare nipple sticking up here. You can see it's got a collar ready for the new clamp to go over the top. So all we're going to do is cut this top off, exposing it and making it so it's actually a hole like a straw, and then the straw that came with our kit will go down inside, and then it's got a special clip that goes on top and it seals it inside the hole. And the way it seals it is quite ingenious. Let me just get it out and I'll show you. So here's the entire kit. This is what it looks like. Let's just angle that down a bit. Now this is the ingenious bit. If you look at this, it looks like the cork, like a stopper, like a test tube stopper. You can see how the shape of it is kind of angled. So when this goes down inside that other tube, it's going to wedge itself down inside, and the flat top of that gets pushed down by the flat top that's inside here. So that's going to push down, hold that pipe in place, and it's going to be sealed by this orange bung here. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Does that make sense? There you go. Anyway, let's do it. Let's cut that off, put this in place.
Yeah.
Because by the looks of that, it's going to go right down to the bottom of the tank, and you're going to be able to suck all the diesel out of the tank, leaving you stranded, no doubt.
Well, it needs to be half of that.
So yeah, we need to cut this, measure it, and then work out so it's just above the bottom of the actual tank.
Yeah.
Right, let's do that next. I'm only guessing. I shouldn't be guessing this. I should actually watch the instructions again. Okay, so after carefully checking the instructions, you do actually cut this in line with that top lip there. So we need to cut it around about here, and it's got to be a nice clean straight cut, straight enough for this bung to fit in and seal it. So let's try and do that now. Keep that so we can show people. So there you go, that's the little cap cut off. So now this will fit in there. I've got to trim it. I'm just going to force it in to make sure it actually sits. Yeah, look at that. See how that that sits in there lovely. So now when we put the cap over the top, that's going to force that down, that bung in and seal it. I see no problem with that at all. Now to work out how long our pipe's going to be, I'm simply going to place it inside the hole like that. If I can get it in there like that, wait for it to touch the bottom of the tank, which is there. I can just feel it there. If I let go of it, look, you can see where it stops, and then grab it. 21, so 18.
Yeah,
so if we measure from there to there, 21, we're going to do it at 18. That leaves 30 mil of fuel in the tank,
yeah,
to get you to a petrol station. Right, okay, so we're cutting it 18 mil long. Final decision,
18 mil, yeah, because you've got the whole of that tank, haven't you, at 18 mil, 30 mil. I think that'll be alright.
Okay, right,
18, but do you want to do 19?
let's do 18 and a half.
18 and a half.
I'm settled for that. There we go. So to install the pipe, like I said, we simply drop that in place like that. The little orange bung is going to cause a seal. As you can see, look, that's a really nice tight seal. That's nice and rubbery, that is. Then our cap is simply going to go over the top of that, and it should click in place. There you go. Hear the click? So that isn't going to come off of there.
That sounds nice and substantial.
Yeah, that is, you know, that'll never come off of there. Not without pushing these in anyway. So now we can take our feed for our diesel pump off of here. Now, whilst we were waiting for the standpipe kit to turn up, we went ahead and brought an upgraded kit for the Chinese diesel heater. This is the solid nylon fuel line. It's much better than the green standard fuel line they've started to send out nowadays. I've seen some bad reports about this green line, even though I've used it myself in my van, because this is Rebecca's van. Gone the extra mile and brought the upgraded fuel line kit.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. So in the kit, you've got all these rubber connectors plus a filter, and I like these filters as well. These are much better, these filters. And we simply slide that over there like that. Really nice tight fit as well. Better fuel line clips than come with the standard kit. That goes over there like that. We do that up with a screwdriver, and then our nylon pipe simply goes on there. We then put the tank back in place, connect it up to the diesel heater, fire it up, and hey presto, we've got a nice warm van. That is, of course, if I can get the fuel tank back into Rebecca's van. Now, I've deliberately put the fuel line clip this way up so it's a lower profile. It's not, the nut isn't sticking up, so I don't know how much clearance we got underneath there.
Oh no, we don't, do we, Governor?
That's right. Just cut these off if I can. Yep. This is the better pipe as well. It's got the braided inside. It's not just rubber, it's braided inside. You can see the little dots around there. So it's got like material braiding.
Oh, that's good.
So this is really good. If anyone wants one of these kits, I'll make sure I'll put a link in the description to where I got this upgraded fuel line pipe kit from. I got it off eBay. I was a little bit sceptical because some of them you get this pipe and it's just rubber, but this is proper fuel line. It's braided, it's got the cord going through it, so it makes it extra strong. So now I'm going to push that pipe in as far as I can, make sure we've still got a bit of flex. Do that up. Remember, this isn't high pressure, this is actually going to be sucking the fuel, so there's no pressure involved, but there is vacuum, so we don't want any air leaks, because if there's an air leak it will suck air instead of fuel.
And will that mess up the diesel heater?
Yeah, because it will just suck air, it won't suck fuel.
Alright, so will that cause it to fail?
Well, it should be okay. This is pretty good stuff. But I'm just saying it's not a high pressure line, so you don't have to over tighten it. Okay. All you've got to do is make sure that no air gets drawn up. So you don't have to... hand tight? Yeah, just do it up regular tight. There's no need to force it, because there's no actual fuel pressure. It's vacuum, not pressure. Right, so now that's all done up, I'm going to leave this hanging loose like that. Probably put it to the front there so it's out of the way. So all I've got to do now is actually replace the fuel tank back underneath Rebecca's van. Fingers crossed for this one.
Yeah.
You can hear the fuel sloshing around. There we go. So now I've got to try and get my legs underneath it. Lift it up. And, swing these round so I can get to them. I'll be able to hook those with my feet, hopefully. Right, get those in position so they're ready. Right.
Do you want me to end the end of 2?
Whatever you do, don't go this end, because the fuel comes out of there.
Oh, that's what Adrian got in his face.
Yeah, so if you're going to help me, then go this end.
Okay.
Right, I'm just doing lane like this so I can thread it up and get my legs underneath it. Like that. Okay. See how it sloshes?
Yeah.
So all we've got to do is push it up and hold it in place. Right. No, don't pull it towards you.
I'm not, I'm trying to.
That's it, like that. That's it. There you go, done. Now you've got to get those straps around like this. Probably do that one. You got it?
Yeah, I got the tank, yeah.
Get that bolt. Oh, hang on, we're forgetting something. Lower it down a bit. Hang on, move it out of the way. Nearly forgot to fill the pipe. Let's get that up in there. Hang on. Oh, shit on it. I forgot. Got it. That's it. Right, that's alright. There you go, it'll find itself. It's home. There comes the diesel dripping down on me. That's it. Now we're sucking diesel.
I've got the tank legs, don't I?
Yeah. She's got it. That's it. That one.
It's the most bizarre angle ever.
Right, you're going to have to let loose, put your legs down. I've got it. That's it. Hold that there.
Yeah.
Hold that there.
Ooh, where?
Get excited.
You want to get...
Yeah, you shift out.
You sure?
Yeah, shift over. That's it.
I got the tank again.
That's it. Breathe. That's it. Yeah, now.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
All
Just make sure this is in the right place at the top. And then we're good. So the filler pipe just simply pops in like this. As you can see, it just pops up in place. Nice and easy. And then we do that nut up again underneath here, and that holds it in place. So now the first thing I'm going to do is connect these fuel lines back up, because we don't want any more fuel dripping on us. It's actually easier to see now the sun's gone in a bit. We'll do this back one in first. So that simply pushes in, clips into place, grey bit goes up, blue clip goes in. That's it, it's locked into place. Same again with this one. Push it up, clips into place. You hear that one clip, that one fits in place. There you go, that's clipped. Now that clips into there. That one's already in place. That's it, that's our fuel lines connected up. Now our breather pipe, that was tucked up there and clipped. Oh, I can't do it from that angle. I need to. So we're going to do these up. This one first. Just make sure that is in the right place. Yeah, you can't really go wrong.
It's fitted so to the contours of the van.
Yeah, it's moulded to the shape of the van, so
you can't get it in the wrong place, especially with that that shape there.
Yeah. Just in case something's caught up or something, and I have to drop it again to untangle the wires, because it does happen. I haven't checked yet, but I'm pretty confident it'll be alright because they're really short. That's it. Alright, so that's all the 4 straps pinched up. They're not done up tight. Here's our fuel line for our diesel heater. Getting in the way. Getting tangled up. Now the breather pipe that simply clips back up in there, and then our cables As you can see, this cable here, that you just have to use your hand and guide it back into the huge plug that's sitting on top of the tank. That's it, it's there. If I push it, you'll hear it clip. There you go, hear that little tiny click, and that's in place. Simple as that, that's it. Our fuel tank is back in. So now everything's connected except the filler. I'll tighten these up, the 4 straps. Some firm and tight. Do that up. Now I've done that up tight, so everything's done up. Here's our fuel line for our diesel heater. Before I drop the van down, I'm just going to ask Becky to jump in the van, start it up, then that way I can check there's no fuel leaks and that it actually still runs. There's no electrical wires got disconnected. Okay babe, can you start it up?
Yeah, sure.
I'll just get out first. Mind the door, because it might swing open as you open it because of the angle of the van. I'll just shut this now, don't need that open. So that's our filler pipe, that's all in there, that's all secure.
Clutch on.
Yeah, you're alright, jump in it. Just start it up as you normally would. Take it out of gear though, yeah. Yep, still goes. There we go, we're golden. Just check for leaks. We're all good. There you go, it's all done, love.
Brilliant.
So now, although we cut the standpipe to 18 centimetres, if I blow in the pipe, I can hear bubbles in the tank, which means the fuel line is still in the fuel, and Rebecca's computer says she's got 50 miles to go. So I think 18 centimetres is about right. Now before I actually connect this up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to suck fuel along the line. I'm going to suck it so we get fuel in this line. Just makes it quicker when it comes to priming the pump. There's the diesel. I did that without swallowing any. So now I've got diesel in the fuel line right up to here, which just makes it easier when it comes to priming. So now I'm going to connect up the fuel pump, and that is our diesel heater installed in Rebecca's van. And if you want to see the entire diesel heater installation into Rebecca's van, then make sure you head over to Rebecca's channel. So there you go, a relatively simple job to fit a fuel standpipe to a full transit custom. I will put a link in the description of this video to where Rebecca brought that standpipe kit from. It was from Ford Custom Campers, and like Rebecca said, it was only £19. And along with buying the upgraded fuel line kit, which was only a tenner, it's like £29 for a really decent upgrade. Well worth the cost, I do believe. Now once again, I want to give full credit to Alex Frood for his original video of when he fitted the diesel heater to his transit van, because if Alex hadn't have made that video, Rebecca and I would have no idea that these even exist. And that's the beautiful thing about YouTube. It is an absolute amazing resource. So make sure you give all your favourite YouTubers a thumbs up, just to let them know you appreciate the time and effort it takes into making these videos. And of course, if you found this video mildly entertaining, slightly informative, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Ta-da for now. And don't forget to subscribe to Rebecca's channel to see the full transit van build. Ta-da! She's busy making videos right now. Let's go and have a spy on her, shall we?
Hello!
Busted.